another aquarium filter, and a bunch of these large containers which are for something else and stuff. And I picked this up, this large sterilite, and so used for a lot of stuff like bicycle repairs. And um, so for now, I really don't think he soldered a few of the vaporizer, um, and I want to just try to be as organized and stuff. So what I'm going to do is wear some gloves and kind of use pliers. And so I've got a bunch of batteries right here. I'm just trying to finish up a few videos or DIYs or get kind of took off a bunch of these EVODs and canisters, and then now I'm just sorting pretty much a larger container, basically ice cream tub. And then gotta find a few more, and then I could, tie things up. I just don't try to open up some of these batteries. I found a few sandwich bags. I think this one is good enough. So it's quite a bit of stuff. Um, I might even start with a small bucket and then gradually move up towards the large one, or could have extra, but preferably this type of setup. Cardboard, it's just, the plastic, I'm not sure exactly, but then I've got some pliers, and then um, I need to get something to cut open. Let's go ahead and see what we get. I'm going to open this up. So I'm putting on some safety gear just in case. So it doesn't seem like twisting is doing anything except making dents. So it's still crazy. I might even have to pry the case in half right down the seam. It's really not what I'm expecting, but I guess that's what is happening for now. So I used the razor blade. And with these particular batteries, I knew that these are a different rating. These are actually 12 volts, 23 amps, and they have single cell uh, watch batteries in them. So that's what I was kind of guessing was going on with these batteries, whereas these other batteries, but these might be really useful for certain, even though they're completely drained or something's happening, maybe some of them are still working for other spare electronics and small flashlights or something. So that's a pretty good, I would call it jackpot or something for finding something like this, stored away inside of a single battery. I might be able to, pretty much make something use or so let's go ahead, go on to kind of like the average type of battery, and let's try to take off the wrapper. But prying on that is going to, basically take a little time. Try to see if this battery, it's a different brand. A lot of work, I guess. So these small pliers might be perfect for this, but it's still really, uh, I could kind of get it. Like this side goes right underneath the edge. There's a small groove there, and then the pointy side kind of opens. But I think I could get it. Just keep trying. So after 5 or 10 minutes, the needle nose does make going around faster, but there's a special little small slot right there. I wonder if I could pry that with something. So I tried to pry in that little small hole. I even got another screw, but I think using some more of the pliers, needle nose, and bending stuff a little bit more. And I think I saw the cap just come right off, so let me try to use a screw or my thumb. And there's the cap taken off. I just pushed in the screw and it popped up. So, and then kind of have another bucket. There's all types of stuff in there. I originally got the screw to kind of dissect everything, poke everything out of there. So I gave it a good poke, and there's like just some type of like I would call it like alumasil or something. It's just there's definitely some jelly stuff. So basically to really reuse this stuff, I'm gonna store it for now, and then I put the small bucket in there. But there's like a roll of paper or something, and then there's just this I forget what they call it. Electrolyte or just some type of gel to separate. I mean, I definitely have to wear gloves, um, and and the only way I could find something like that is actually using water and then diluting everything like salt water, diluting everything, and then hoping everything rinses off, getting everything out of there, and then filtering it, and then drying it and stuff like that. So I guess after this stage, and the carbon rod is really small and things. After this stage, I'm going to need a glass jar and just throw these things in there, and then just use some tweezers and dish that stuff out on the smaller one without folding the bag, and then the garbage pail I put that on there just for storage. I don't want to deal with stuff later on in that screw. So what's next is actually having a rinse off jar to throw the battery in. And I guess I've got some jars, and maybe find a decent jar of something that I don't really want to mess up or anything like that. So I've got this jar right here. And then I'm going to add water and salt. Pretty much add as much as I want, and then that's going to rinse off the inside of the batteries. Way to test different and sort those things out, and then and after that uh, I'll have all the parts and tanks separated. So I guess all the parts are going to be dried, but I kind of took off this rubber bushing, and now I could just try to desolder. Actually, I see a couple small Phillips screws. There's one right here. So I'm going to try to just unscrew it. They used to be screws. I think I just stripped them by accident. Uh, oh yeah. So this one, there's no screws on it. Yeah, I got to really warm up this iron, and still can't remove that board, right? All right, so there's a third one. So I guess those aren't really screws. They're just rivets somehow. No, they are screws. Well, they're in between. I'm not sure exactly. Alright, so there's a fourth one. So I put the batteries and probably sort out these off camera. And there's one more battery. Then I've got all the extra parts there. So I gotta sort out a few things. And try to say it's only 47 watts. 40 watts. Also, it could probably go on a different way. I'm not sure. to try something eventually. Maybe, it's really good. Soldering is just the electrical. So there's like a, and keep the electrical to the side, I think. So cut the tape off the battery, and then this is soldered in. So I kind of check this one to see the battery and the soldering on the charging port. So I got to desolder. So it's actually, this corner right here is actually a good spot. Usually try to pry to just open it, but so have two pry tools. So I kind of have this butter knife and a screwdriver. Yeah, so this tank is just really simple. So let's try this most recent one to see how things are. And this one also really saturated. This is the latest one, the newest one that I did, and so it's really saturated. Just comparing with the other ones, this one is dried. So then I think, yeah. So that's how it is, I think. So I'm going to be working on desoldering and even trying to reuse the whatever components and parts just in case things fall apart. It's pretty good DIY electronics for now. But just the e-juice cases, maybe, so. So I'm actually gonna plug in my soldering iron and actually start trying to desolder from the chip, and then after that I'll have all the parts and tanks separated. So I guess all the parts are gonna be dried, but I kind of took off this rubber bushing, and now I could just try to desolder. Actually, I see a couple small Phillips screws. There's one right here. So I'm going to try to just unscrew it. They used to be screws. I think I just stripped them by accident. Oh yeah. So this one, there's no screws on it. So yeah, I got a ruler. It takes probably 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so that's two, and still can't remove that board, right? Alright, so there's a third one. So I guess those aren't really screws. They're just rivets somehow. No, they are screws. Well, they're in between. I'm not sure exactly, but alright, so there's a fourth one. So I put the batteries and probably sort out these off camera. And there's one more battery. Then I've got all the extra parts there. So I gotta sort out a few things. And I tried to melt the solder on this, but I think it melted the plastic more than the solder. So this iron is, a little bit 40 watts. So it's really too bad. Sponges. I just desoldered everything and have 5. Could use like a separate. It would be nice to have the lid to this, but I don't have one. And now I've just got these items. And I guess I could read the specs on these batteries since I don't really haven't. They're 3.7 volts only. 500 mega amps.